The topic that we are talking about is living in peace, not in pieces. Pujya Swamiji always says we have a choice of, do we want to be in peace or do we want to be in pieces? And so we thought that this evening that would be a very pertinent and apt topic for those of us in every sphere, every age, every walk of life. Because tragically what we have found is that it doesn't matter how much we have, what we look like, how high we've achieved, we're still searching for peace. And this is really the tragic phenomenon of this day and age, is whether we think that we're going to find peace in a raise, a promotion, a movie, a nice dinner, vacation on our own Caribbean island, or anything and everything in between. We're searching for it. We're not actually living in peace, regardless of how much we've achieved, how much we've acquired, how from week to week and year to year we think, if I only had this, then I'd be happy, then I'd be in peace. When I get that, then I will be in peace. And yet, week after week and year after year, we keep achieving those things, attaining those things, acquiring those things. But we're no closer to peace. The only thing that changes is where we're looking for it. So if it was a movie last week, today it's a vacation in the Caribbean. Tomorrow it's our own island. The next day it's something else. Our vision of where we're going to get it increases, but we actually come no closer to it. The Dalai Lama said so beautifully, he says, you know, you can have the top, most beautiful penthouse in a 100-floor building with a view that oversees everything. But if you're depressed, all you're going to do is look for the window from which to jump. So it has nothing to do with what we've got outside and everything to do with our own minds. And that's really what we're going to talk about this evening, is what is it in our own minds that keeps peace from us? Because we may blame the world around us. We may say, oh, the reason I'm not in peace is this colleague or this family member or this traffic or this interest rate or this problem. But as we look back over our lives, what we realize is the cause of our lack of peace keeps changing. And only one thing stays constant: the lack of peace. So what we realize is it's actually all within ourselves. And I want to begin by just doing a little experiment, a little participatory program. This, on my left, is group 1. So if you're in group 1, raise your hand. Great. All of you over here are group 2. If you're group 2, can you raise your hand? Thank you. Now, group 1's job is to chant Om. Can I hear you do that? Group 2's job is to make as much ruckus as you possibly can. Now, I know we usually don't do this in front of our revered saints. We usually don't do this in the presence of august company. Nonetheless, group 2's job is to make absolutely, and I'm depending upon my youngsters in the back to help us, group 2's job is to make as much ruckus as you possibly can. Can I hear you? That's not very good. As much as you can. All right. Can our youngsters come forward for a minute? They're going to show us what ruckus looks like. Come, you guys, come here. So they're going to help team 2 make as much ruckus as you can. 1, 2, 3. Go. Anybody can do that? Thank you. Go Peaches with group 2. Great. Now, group 1 and group 2 are going to go at the same time on the count of 3. And yet, if I raise my hand on your side, what it means is your side should become quiet, the other side should keep going. So on the count of 3, everybody's going to go together. And if my hand comes up on your side, you become quiet. 1, 2, 3. Going the whole time from when I counted to 3, or did you just start when they stopped? You were going the whole time, right? Could anybody hear them while this side was making the ruckus? No. So what did we need to do in order to hear the Om? We just had to quiet the noise. And what I love about this demonstration is most of us are searching for this Om, this peace, this Shanti. And what we don't realize is it's actually there all the time. The problem is our own minds do what this side of the room did. But our own minds are much louder, much more constant, making such a ruckus that we don't hear the Om. And so what I'm going to talk about briefly is what is this ruckus in our minds made of? And how do we need to quiet it? Because that peace is with us. That peace is all the time who we are. How do we get this noise to stop? And what is it? So there's 3 aspects that I'm going to speak about this evening that make up the ruckus. Number 1, stress. Number 2, ego. Number 3, our emotions. Mostly anger, but all other emotions. So stress, ego, and emotions. And if we can get those to become quiet, then we've got the Om going all the time. Stress has become an epidemic. And such an epidemic that we actually forget even that there is an alternative to being stressed. You talk to anybody, how are you? Stressed. How are you? Tense. Ask anyone, how are you doing? And what we get is a list of everything I'm worried about. And the problem with this is that we forget that there is a way of being that isn't stressed. If you wake up tomorrow morning and you take your temperature, and the thermometer says 102, and you ask your friends and family, Acha, what's your temperature? And they all say 98.6. You understand, I've got a fever. You go to the doctor, you get some medicine, you do whatever you need to do to heal the illness. But if when you take your temperature and it says 102, and you ask your friends and family, they tell you, yeah, my temperature is also 102. We think that's normal. We no longer go to the doctor, we don't take the medicine because 102 has become normal. Now, whether everyone else's body is also ravaged by fever or not, doesn't change the fact that 102 fever means I've got an infection. something is ravaging my body with fever. And if I don't treat it, whether Ayurvedically or homeopathically or allopathically, it doesn't matter. But if I don't treat it, it's going to get worse. But because stress has become the new normal, we've accepted this as okay. And what makes us stressed? If you boil down all of our stress, it basically comes down to the universe and all of the people in it should behave in the way, act in the way I want them to. And if they don't, I'm stressed. So whether it's interest rates, whether it's the stock market, whether it's our friends and family, if people are not acting as I want them to, or if I'm worried that they are not going to, that the situation is not going to be what I want, I'm stressed. Oh my God, what if this happens? Oh my God, what if that happens? Oh my God, what if this? Oh my God, this is happening. It's not what I'm wanting. So what I've done is I've created a situation where as is the outer world, so is my inner world. Jaise paristiti, as the outer situation, वैसे मेरे स्वस्थिति, मेरा मनस्थिति, my own situation. जब परिस्थिति हमारे अनुसार होती है, I'm great. When the outer world is what I want it to be, I'm perfect. But जब परिस्थिति हमारे अनुसार नहीं होती है, when it doesn't go according to what I want, then being upset is normal. And the problem with this, of course, is that we have no control over the outer world. Thanks. We have no control over the outer world. What we've done is expected the world to act like a vending machine. When we walk up to a vending machine, we put in our money and we push the button for chocolate bar, and a chocolate bar comes out. Now the vending machine doesn't care that you're 400 pounds, that you're diabetic, that your teeth are rotten. You put in the money, you push the button for chocolate, and it comes out. In life, we put in the money, we push the button for the chocolate bar, and what happens? Carrots come out. And we then metaphorically try again. Now a bottle of water comes out. Now we decide the vending machine is broken. And so depending on our nature, either we kick it or we hit it, or we just walk away from it. I need a new vending machine. A new mandir, a new mantra, a new guru, a new husband or wife, a new job, a new, whatever it is. But the universe is not giving me what I want, so it must be broken. Rather than looking at it and realizing, I'm 400 pounds, I'm diabetic, my teeth are rotten, what I've gotten is actually exactly what is best for me in this situation. So stress is caused by that vending machine not giving me what I think I want, what I think I need. And we then move through the world expecting the worst. Most of us are stressed even before something happens. Ki, oh my God, garbad hone wale. Nothing has happened yet. Everything is going great. Imagine I say to you, okay, here's the plot of a movie. Or here's the plot of a situation in life. A beautiful husband and wife, happy, healthy. 2 beautiful children are driving in a car. Beautiful sunny day. They're singing in the car. They're holding hands. Now what happens? And if we went around the room and you all filled in with the creative writing of what happens, we tend to get things like, the car crashed, a meteor fell, this happened, that happened. We've become so primed to expect things not to go right that even when they are perfect, we're anticipating disaster. I've painted a beautiful picture for you. But if I say what happens next, almost every one of our minds goes to the fatalistic approach. We have our beautiful children in front of us. Oh my God, what if something happens to them? We're in the arms of our beloved. Oh my God, what if something happens? We can't even be peaceful in the peaceful, beautiful moments of our lives because we're already anticipating. What if something happens? What happens when it ends? And so the solution to this, the antidote to this, is courage and faith. Now, courage literally means, we tend to think of courage as a synonym of bravery. But bravery is actually, the root of bravery comes from putting on armor. We think of the knights in the wars that had to go to war. To be brave, they put on armor. I've got my thick metal bulletproof vest, my thick metal bulletproof helmet, my 20-foot spear. Now I can be brave. This is the way most of us go through the world. We're stressed, we're worried, we're fearful. And in order to be brave, we have to protect ourselves. And so we armor ourselves up. But when we armor ourselves up, we've blocked ourselves from the very thing that we're put on earth for, which is connection. If we're so armored, our hearts, our heads, we're holding the world at a 20-foot spear. We've deprived ourselves of all of the love, of all of the connection, of all of the creativity. So many of us are stressed that we're not going to succeed in our profession. Well, any one of you here whose profession or life includes any element of creativity, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're an innovator, whether you're an artist, whether you're a musician, they depend on creativity. Now, if I'm blocked and I'm stressed and I'm fearful, can I innovate? Can I create? On any level, can I create anything when I'm holding the world at an arm's length? So in order to actually create anything, whether in my life, in my work, we have to be open. And that's where courage comes. The root of the word courage is heart, kar. And courage literally means the opposite of bravery. Courage is an open heart. Courage is walking into the world with an open heart, knowing that I won't always succeed, knowing that the universe is not going to do what I want it to do, that people are not going to act as I want them to act. But that the key to my peace in life, the key to my joy in life, is the openness of the heart. The next piece is ego. So stress and ego. Ego, we've already talked about some because it's the ego that says, "Jaise main chahti hoon, waise hona chahiye." As I want, that's how it should happen. And if you don't do it like that, you're wrong. I mean, because the ego doesn't just want it how it wants it. It wants it how it wants it because how it wants it is right. And so our ego steals our peace. And the antidote to that is a beautiful definition of success that Pujaswami Dayananji used to give. And the definition of success that he gave has nothing to do with what we achieve, what we accomplish, what we acquire. Because along the way there will be many failures, as we all know. There will be many times in which things are not going our way. The definition of success is how I respond in the inevitable times when the universe does not act the way I think it should. Success is how I respond in the inevitable times that the universe is not acting as I think it should. And if we can have that element of success, that's where we find the peace. Is not in getting my way, but in us being able to respond from the inner to the outer. So it's not jaise paristiti, vaise swastiti, but it becomes jaise swastiti, vaise paristiti. I am creating the environment around me, rather than being affected by it, rather than taking the chaos in, rather than taking the pieces in and letting it ruin my peace. I create the world around me. I create the environment around me. So jaise manastiti, jaise swastiti, vaise paristiti. And last, our emotions, especially anger. Quick experiment. On the count of 3, I want all of you to become, not out loud, just inside, become very, very angry. 1, 2, 3, go. Just inside, become very, very furious. We can't. We cannot become angry on command. And the reason is because it is not conscious. We may think I got angry for that very good reason. I was fully in my senses. We're not. Whenever we are angry, it is because we were unconscious. And we've just proven it. You cannot consciously, on command, become angry. So the antidote to the anger that steals our peace, to the unconscious emotions and reactions that steal our peace, is very simple. Consciousness. The more we stay conscious and present and aware, the less we get swept away by these emotions. And the very last point I want to mention on this is when we hold on to anger, and we hold on to grudges, and we hold on to pain, we do it because we expect that the person who hurt us should fix it themselves. If I let it go, it means what they did is okay. Now you imagine somebody comes to visit you. They spill a cup of coffee on your couch. They leave. What are you going to do? Are we going to let the coffee stain sit on the couch? We're going to clean it right away, and we're going to clean it so fast because we know the longer it sits, the harder this stain is going to be to get out. We're not going to say, let them come back and clean up their own coffee. Let them come back and see what a stain this has left on my couch. Because we care more about the couch in our house than we do about proving to this guy that it was his fault that we now have a coffee stain on our couch. We don't want the stain. And the same thing happens when people hurt us in our lives. They've stained us in some way. They've done something verbally through actions that's left a stain on us. But instead of having the reaction, like we do with the couch that says, oh my God, let me clean this right away, otherwise I'm going to have this permanent stain of pain, of grudge, of anger. We leave it there expecting that they should somehow do something to fix it. And of course they should know what to do, like they should be able to read our minds. Next time we meet them, we don't speak nicely, they say, what's wrong? We say nothing. Did I do something? No, nothing. So not only should they clean it, but they should read our minds. If we take all of that which happens in our lives, like these stains on our furniture, and we understand that just as coffee stains the couch, so does my pain, so does my anger, so does my grudge stain my heart. This guy doesn't know. He doesn't have a stain on his couch at home. He's going to go home to a beautiful couch. We're the one who's sitting on coffee. We're the one on whose couch's ants are going to come. We're the one who's going to be embarrassed every time someone comes home because there's a big coffee stain. We're the one who suffers. They don't suffer. So as people, as we move through the world, leave stains on our lives, let us treat them as stains on our furniture and remove them as quickly as we possibly can, so that our hearts, our minds, our lives can go back to being in peace and in joy. And that's the power that we all have. It's not in the world outside. It's in the ruckus inside. And when we quiet this side, what we have is a lingering experience of the Om.